All right. We are live on YouTube. April 8th, 2021. It is the afternoon. This is Options Millionaire live stream. And we are going to stream the SPY in the close here after another bull run to all-time highs. So yeah, I sat down after my workout, awesome, all sweaty, and just want to go over a few things here. Going back to the 3-month chart. Well, first we're currently at 408.41, and let me come back here. I'll just switch to the daily. We've got a big red candle form on the 1 minute, and I'm switched over to my my E-Trade account. I scrubbed it. So on the 5 minute. Frozen here. All right, good. Lagging a little bit today. That's fine. So yeah, we're just trending this upward little trend. We're trending right at the 8 EMA appears. We're well above the 21. RSI is topped out at 70 and keeps this little downturn. So that's all right. Going back to the 3 minute, I want to show you all this. And this is why looking back at historicals is so important. If you want to learn SPY, you got to go back and look at what it has done. It's like you can't predict the future unless you know the past. So I'm going to come back here and I want to show you the summertime. Let me see. I tried to find something that was a similar run. And yeah, something with the same amount of volume. Similar amount of price action that wasn't like kind of slowly ramping up in price, that it was pretty aggressive over the course of 2 weeks, because that's what we've done here. And I want to show you how things react. So, stand by. All right. So looking at this, we've got May 29th right here. It ramps up, it goes in price, it gaps up similarly like it did a few days ago, and it tops out here at on June 8th. So that's what, about 10 days, 11 days. We're right at that level. You can see similar rapid price. Boom, it goes exponential. It gaps up crazy. It spikes again on the final day, and then it boom ramps down. And then it goes from you can kind of see it goes from 304 up to 323. So that's a $20 jump, which is about where we're at. Very, very similar. And then it fizzles out for a few days. It does the chop, which we've had for the past 3 days. And then, boom, it gaps down, fills the gap, comes back down, settles at about 300, about where it started. Now, I don't think we're going to have that big of a move. It erased all its gains and then rebounded and came back up. Obviously, that's a little, we have to take into consideration that was a Corona time frame where there was a lot of stuff unknown. However, that's still what happened. It's a good way to look at price action of how things react, because if you look through all this time, yeah, we had this peanut butter spread here in August, but Amazon Amazon was going crazy, Apple was going crazy, the whole market was rebounding, it was going nuts, and then we had this huge downturn in September, huge downturn again in October, and then bam, it's been pretty much been off to the races this whole time since then. A little bit of retraction there in January, of course, and then we've had this sideways-ish chop all through the springtime, or the beginning of springtime. So here we are now. March 25th, boom, ramps up till April 8th. So we're right around that same time frame. We're at all-time highs. We've got this nice little gap, similar price action for what we saw back in June. So just something to consider. RSI is at the top of the range. It's never jumped past this very much at all. So what I want to see here is this rejection. I want to see this rejection off of the RSI. And they're right at the top of the range. Boom, I want to see it come down. See? Look, here's back. The highest it's been before now was January 8th. Before that, it was, bam, right here in September when we had that run. So, but look what happens. We spike that high, and look, what do you see? Boom, 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 boom. 3 or 4 giant red candles right after you see that spike. What do you see here? Spike in RSI. What do you see after that? Boom, boom, boom. Red candles. So just something to consider. And those are the only 2 times we've been higher. Oh, right here, same way. We see an RSI right here. Boom, red candle. So just something to consider and something to pay attention to. Yes, we are in a bull market right now. Decrease in volume. RSI is topped out. Right here, see the decreasing volume. RSI is topped out. All technical indicators point to this being extended. Look at the 5-day chart. We've got this chop right here. Look at this. Just trading in this range. We popped out of it today. A little higher, but still on low volume. Look at the volume here. Lowest volume we've had in the afternoon all week. So the volume is drying up. We're nearing the end of the week. We're at the top of the range. Yep, for all those new to the Discord, yeah, I am live streaming. Obviously, if you can hear me, I'm streaming. So, I very much encourage you, if you're new to the game, go back and view the historicals. Look at the chart. Look at the price charts. Look at the action, the price action. See what happens. There you go. Just posted the link in the Discord room. In addition, I like to keep this Excel sheet here. And this is just basically what I have in terms of a trade. I'll go over the different columns. I've got the PM gains and loss pre-market. That's the price of from the previous day's close here to the next day's open here. That's just pre-market action. And that's when I developed that side back when I was doing swing options. I got the trading hours gain. So this is actually during trading hours, which is, you can see what's been happening since March 25th. And then I've got the day's gains and loss. And this is the day's close relative to the last day's close. So close to close, basically. This is open to close, this is close to close, and this is intraday. So you can see the past 10 days we've been on today will be the 10th day, unless we drop big time and go red. That will be green. So just something to consider. I do have that on my Google Sheets. I'll share that after the market closes. So if anybody has any questions about the previous charts, I'll be happy to go over it, or any comments. But there's nothing wrong with playing puts. You just got to wait for confirmation. Trust me, when the time comes, puts pay big time, big time. But you got to wait for the confirmation. Whether you're going to play it, if you're only going to play a 10-minute window, then wait for the 10-minute confirmation. You don't need much. Just wait for the 10 minutes. If you're going to play it for the entire day, or if you're one who's going to swing overnight, wait for the confirmations. There's different confirmations for different time frames. When the time comes, this is going to pop down to the 396 level. You just got to wait for the opportunity. And I promise you, when that time comes, we will make buku bucks. But the time has not yet arrived. Did everybody catch that historical? I know I did that pretty early before a lot of people jumped on, but I encourage you, once this live stream ends, to watch the very beginning of the live stream and go and review that the historicals that I went over, because I think it's a great insight of how the price action works. We're at the very top of the range here. If this does continue on without some sort of dip onto 410, 412, it will have been the first time it's done that in quite a while. I will just say that. The odds of it happening is low. Don't need that. Don't need that. I want a day where I could buy something at 10:30 and do nothing all day and make money. Well, that was the past 2 weeks. There's 4 days of chop. Chop is not conducive to that style of trading. So, which is why I usually sit on the sidelines on this type of behavior. But I promise the days are coming. So what will happen is that we'll have a downturn which will last a few days, just like it did. You know, look before this run. Look at this right here. See this? I remember this was the middle of March right here. Everyone was screaming, you know, from the rooftops that the world was burning. Like, here it is. Here's the big correction we've been waiting for since, you know, we popped all-time highs back in the fall or June or whatever it was. When we finally popped all-time highs. So it happens, and it happens for a few days, and then we enter another period of chop and consolidation, and then we begin the uptrend again. So right here, we had the long period of climbing, downward trend. Everyone was freaking out. Oh my gosh, the world is ending. I guess a little bit of chop here, not much, and then boom, up. Downward trend, huge dip, boom, right back up. So there's always times where you can buy in the morning and sell in the afternoon. That's it. Now look at the, see if I can zoom out here. I love how E-Trade reminds you that VWAP is intraday only. Yeah, so I usually have my VWAP indicator, but E-Trade automatically takes it off. See, my E-Trade's being a little wonky right now, but I wanted to show you something else, but I can't get it to work. So that red candle got bought up. I'm not buying anything for the rest of the day, so just anybody asked, I'm not making any more plays. I don't care what happens. I'm waiting for tomorrow. Someone asked, what does stopped out mean? And sell to close, long call. Stopped out means I've put a stop on my stop order on my calls or options or puts, and it's hit that stop. So when I purchase a call or a put, I immediately put his 10% stop on there. By the way, from now on I'm going with the 12%. I discussed that earlier, but I'll feel free to explain that again if someone asks. So 10%, and then we got some break in the action here. A little red candle. Anyway, 10%, and then so that protects me from a further loss. So if a position does go against me, it hits that 10% and it executes automatically. It gets me out of the position to 10% loss. But that keeps me from going minus 30, minus 40, minus 50, whatever. Could I elaborate a little bit more on my experience in real estate? I'd be happy to do that. I'll do it after hours, though. I just don't want to bog everybody down when they're trying to figure out the last end of the trade. Basically, it has to do with rental properties, though, and flips. Someone said Tesla has always burned me. Every time any gains I make get wiped away. Yeah. I made a killing with Tesla in the fall when it raged, all year long. You could have bought any time and held on to it, which is fine. But once I exited the position in the 600s, it began to become a nemesis because I was like, all right, when is it gonna stop? And then of course we all know it went on to hit 900. So all right, so we got some selling coming into the play here. I'm going to switch over to the 5-minute chart. This is why I like E-Trade Pro so much better than TradingView or what I was using and other stuff, because everything's right here in front of you. It's easy, very clear. Plus, I like the dark theme. I like the dark themes. But Sorry, I'm just looking through, just looking at the RSIs. Man, not too much going on here. My E-Trade is just, my system's going a little slow right now, so it's lagging a little bit. All right, just this is an absolute snooze fest. I'm gonna have to get off here in about 5 minutes to go pick up my kids from school. I'm sure you're not gonna miss anything though, because this is slow as can be. I guess the next question is, what happens tomorrow? Tomorrow is April 9th, Friday. End of the week. End of a choppy week. I'm glad to see it end. Not gonna lie. But yeah, just go back to those historicals. Please watch the beginning of this live stream once it posts. and just, see how it go back through the charts and see how things go, and just pick out patterns that are very similar to here and see how SPY reacted when certain indicators hit those reactions. And that's the RSI, the MACD, how they intertwine with the crossover. You've got the 8, the 21 in the EMA, the VWAP, and then you've got the 200 MA, which I can't get it to bring up on the 3 month. I can't get my chart to zoom out. I don't know what's going on with E-Trade here, but let me see if I can minimize these. There we go. All right, here we go. 1 year chart. So you got here, this is the 200 MA. And you see how divided we are from that. We're way above it. And the further we've get since the corona crash of 2020, it's just bam, diversion all the way. This is the furthest we've been away from the 200, I think, pretty much ever. I mean, look. So when you have that kind of divergence, you have to watch in any indicator, but much less 200. So we usually have at some point in time, we always come back to the 200. It's a baseline. It may take 6, 7, 8 months, a year, but we always come back to the 200. Now, it seems impossible for that to happen because the 200 right now is at 296.38. But what happens when it does? I mean, obviously the 200 is going to keep on climbing, and it may come like right about here when it happens, and it'll be 325-ish when it finally actually does. But eventually it's going to happen. It may take a long time, but it's going to come back to the 200. I mean, it did it there. That was Corona right here. Boom. It did it here. I think that was 2018. Yep, that was 2018. But this is the longest, from looking back, the furthest we've been away from the 200 was in 2017. And look what happens. Boom. Right back. You can kind of see the charts cutting it out, but there we go. There we go. I mean, here, look at the divergence here between the 200 MA and the price action. And then, boom, it comes right back down. Since then, I mean, back then, here's 2015. We were far above it. Boom, comes back down. So it may take a long time, but it will come back down. And that's for the long-term strategy, obviously not day trading. Can't day trade the SMA on the 3-month chart, year chart. The VIX is extremely low. Currently at 1698, it's absolutely tanked. And looking at it on the 1 year chart, I mean, look at it. This is the lowest it's been since here. Since there, 1612. It opened at 1498, closed at 1708. And that was back on February of 2020. And that's before Corona. Look what happens. Corona hits. Volatility goes through the roof. It peaked at, 66, which is insane. And then it fizzles out throughout the year. And here we are, all-time lows of the year. It's actually 52-week lows. So before Corona, it oscillated between 24 and 11. So 11 is pretty low, which the more normalized we get, the more normalized that'll become. The same numbers. What's the average percentage drop? Let's go back and take a look. Let's go look at that's a good question. Let's go back and look in June where here's what I was talking about. Or started here. So we topped out at 323.41. And we bottomed. Of course, this candle was immediately bought up. I'd like to go back and look at the price action for that particular day. But it was bought out at 296.74. That was an 8% drop in May, or in June, when we actually had a similar price action. We had a drop of 8.2%. So I know what you're asking. What does that put the SPY at if it were to do the same thing now? So let's look. That's $33, so that puts it at 375. If we were to have an 8% drop right now, we're looking at SPY at 375 after the drop. Everyone says, "Oh, that's impossible. No way, no way." Well, look, it happened. It happens. So if you're going back through and you're looking at historicals, look at the average drop. Now, I'm not talking a one-day red candle. I'm talking after you have a power move, like we've had the past 2 weeks. What's the average drop? Or the past, some year, for example. What's the average drop? Is it here? That would put it at the 100. Right at the 100, actually. So, but look, we approached here back in, what was that? Back in March, we approached the 100. The 100 back here, we came close, didn't approach it, but we started heading that direction. Is it time to actually touch the 100, which would be right at 375? 8% we put right at it. So, something to consider. SPY is rolling over here at 238. Having said that, it is 240 almost. I have to sign off here to go get my kids. I encourage all of you to go back and watch the first 10 minutes of this live stream if you haven't done so already, and look at historicals so you can plan your themes going forward, plan your strategies. So it's been, I wish I could say it's fun today, but man, this sideways chop is boring as heck. Tomorrow is brighter, greener pastures, though. Let's see what happens tomorrow. And whatever happens, we will try to maximize our profits together. If you have any questions, concerns, post them in the Discord. DM me directly if you want to. Or put them in the YouTube Live when I come on live tomorrow morning. I'll try to get me a post. Actually, no. I'm not going to do a post video today just because I pretty much went over that here. Nothing pretty much going on. Be ready for tomorrow. I'll have my pre-market video posted in the morning. And we'll go from there. It's been fun. It is April 8th, Thursday. This is Options Millionaire. Signing off. Thanks for the help.